Welcome to the English 1302 Orientation and Course Introduction. Let me first introduce myself to you. I am your instructor, Dr. Joyce T. I have 4 degrees, all in English and Literature, from Rutgers, the University of Texas at Dallas, and the University of Dallas, where I earned my PhD in Literature. All of my contact information is on the first page of the syllabus. My open and closed office hours are also on the first page of the syllabus. But this course is not about me. It's about you. Since we will be working together for the next 16 weeks, I need to get to know each one of you. For this purpose, I have created a first day survey, which you have already completed, and a second day questionnaire, which you will need to complete for the next class. This course is also about you getting to know your peers. Group work will help you to do so. Research has shown that group work has many benefits for college students, including helping you learn better, retain more of what you learn, and enjoy learning more. Your group work begins right now. You will get into groups to discuss your answers to the last part of the survey, question number 17, about the 8 ways to help your brain function more efficiently. After I stop this presentation, you will discuss your answers together and decide on a final ranking of the 8 things. Put number 8 first and go backwards to number 1. You will have 5 minutes for this group work. Please begin now. Now we are ready for you to discuss your results. Each group compare your ranking to the ranking of the 8 things that occurs in the book. The name of the book is it's a book by Newberg, and the title of the book is How God Changes Your Brain. So in reverse order, the 8th most important thing you can do to exercise your brain is smile. 7, stay intellectually active. 6, consciously relax. 5, yawn. 4, meditate. 3, aerobic exercise. 2, dialogue with others. And number 1 is faith. See how close you came in your group. You have just completed your first group assignment, but you have not yet organized yourself into formal groups. Formal groups will be organized during the next class. You will choose group roles, name your group, and I will post it on Ecampus. But you don't have to remain in the group you are in today. Once again, this course is about you. Your learning, your success, your goals, your writing, your growth, but most of all, it is about your choices. You make choices every second of every minute of every day. Learn to be aware of the choices you make and to be aware of their consequences. Now for the nuts and bolts of the course. As soon as possible after this class, you will need to read your syllabus carefully and write any questions you have on it. The complete syllabus can be accessed on Ecampus. The MVC commitment form is located near the end of your syllabus. I have given you copies of those pages. After you access the syllabus online and carefully read it, you will need to sign the form and turn it in to me as soon as possible, preferably the next class day. You have several required textbooks. The first one is the Lit text, and it's available in the bookstore both as a used rental or new. Your second required textbook is your English 1302 Study Guide, which I prepared and published especially for this class. It is also available in the bookstore, but be sure to get the correct edition. You need to get the 6th edition, and different editions won't have the same content in them from semester to semester, so an older edition will not work. The price of the study guide is based on the cost of printing and the bookstore markup, but please note I do not receive any royalties from the sale of the study guide, not any royalties at all. The last required textbook is the Norton edition of Oedipus Tyrannus, and the bookstore also has used copies and new copies of this available for your purchase. I suggest you prioritize your purchases as follows. First, you need to purchase the study guide because we'll be using that this week. The next purchase should be the Norton Oedipus Tyrannus, and finally the lit text. You also have required supplies. First, you will need to get a notebook, a 1.5-inch binder, and preferably white, but any color will do. You will also need to purchase some dividers, 15 of them, and they need to be labeled from 1 to 15, and you can buy the expensive, pretty kind with the labels already on them, or you can buy the less expensive, unlabeled kind, and then you can write the numbers on them yourself. So what is the main thing that goes into your notebook? Your handwritten class notes will be the main thing that go into that notebook. You received a form with a sample of a way to take notes in class in your little packet that I gave you. Why is taking notes so important, though? Why take notes by hand? Well, according to a book, a very important book used by many professors, Teach Students How to Learn, it's a very important strategy for your learning. According to this book, and this is a quote, even though many students take notes on their laptops, computers, tablets, or even smartphones, recent studies show that taking notes by hand results in more learning than does taking notes with a laptop. And that's partly because you have to paraphrase. You can look up this research by Googling the names Mueller and Oppenheimer, 2014 note-taking. It's a very important strategy, writing by hand. And today, I'd like you to use, for your note-taking, the form that I gave you in your packet. But your job is going to be to either revise that form or to find a format that works for you. Regardless of what you do, taking notes is part of your required preparation in this class, each class session. Also required is cloud access to store your files. Every student has access to free OneDrive. As soon as you enroll and pay, register and pay for your class, you automatically have OneDrive free. But you may not want to use that. You may want to use iCloud if you have Apple, or you may want to use something like Dropbox. But you're going to need to have a cloud format in which to save your assignments so that you can access them from anywhere. If you do not have at home, if you don't have the internet at home, then you're going to need to save your files first. You'll need to save them on a USB drive, a thumb drive, and then you will go ahead and bring them to school and save it on the cloud. It's very important to save all of your files in the cloud. Ecampus is a requirement for everybody, so you need to make sure that you have an Ecampus account. Now, Ecampus is automatically given to every single student as soon as you enroll. It's important because I send out announcements via Ecampus before every class. I send out announcements and with course information and reminders, and also because this is the main way that you and I are going to communicate. You may send me questions via email, and I may send you questions via email, but you need to be sure to check your email before each class. As I said, enrolling in the course automatically gives you Ecampus access, and this is what the homepage looks like on the internet, which you can access either from the Mountain View homepage, or you can just Google Ecampus at DCCCD and this will come up. and then you're going to put your username and your password in there. If you don't have, your username is your ID, your password you create on your own. You'll also have a Quia class website. Quia is a website that I use for surveys, for quizzes, and for your test. You will receive a Quia username and password in the first 2 weeks of class, and you'll need to keep up with that so that you can log in and take quizzes, tests, and surveys as needed. Now, plagiarism, because this is a research paper class, plagiarism is an issue that you're going to need to pay very close attention to. Plagiarism is a serious offense, and you don't want to accidentally commit plagiarism. And so what I've done is to create a link on Ecampus so that you can go to the University of Indiana site and learn exactly what plagiarism is. You're going to read a definition, you look at a tutorial, and then finally, when you're done, this is the site, this is what the site looks like. When you're done, you take a quiz or a test, a certificate. Once you pass the test, you'll receive a certificate, and you're going to need to turn a copy of that certificate in to me. Also, to keep a copy for yourself to staple to the front of each essay that you submit. Plagiarism is a very serious offense, and the penalty for plagiarism is stated on your syllabus. Other penalties may be enacted by the dean or the vice president, but this course teaches you how to properly cite and document your sources to avoid plagiarism. Remember, plagiarism is theft, so you don't want to steal someone else's ideas or work and pass them off as your own. Again, the course components are in-class instruction, your readings, writing assignments, most important. You'll use the writing process to prepare your writing assignments. We'll have group assignments. You'll have cumulative grades, participation grades, and changes may occur, of course, during the semester, and you can see that syllabus disclaimer when you read your syllabus. So the course evaluation is as follows. 70% of your grade will be based on your essays, including the research paper. 10% of your grade is based on the writing process. 10% of your grade is based on test, and the final 10% of your grade is the cumulative. The writing assignment, each one has what we call a rhetorical situation, and all of your writing assignments will be argument, and each one will incorporate research. You will use the writing process to prepare every essay. It will begin with pre-writing, and you will also have an outline in most cases, not in every one, but you will have pre-writing assignments, outlines. You will write at least 2 drafts, and you will self-edit, revise, and then turn in a final draft. So this is an example of the writing process graphic that is also in your I believe it's in your syllabus, and it definitely is in your study guide. So you can come back and consult this to understand exactly what the process is that we will be using to complete every single essay. So the writing process is graded. It's 10% of your grade, and as a part of your personal responsibility, you will assess and grade your own writing process at the end of each writing assignment. You'll use a rubric. This is an example of what the rubric looks like, and you will grade yourself in the areas that are stated on the rubric and give yourself a final grade. Cumulative is a record of your participation in the class. It's your personal responsibility to assess that participation, so you're going to have 2 opportunities to keep track of it. One is optional, a tracking form, and one is required, a cumulative form that you will use to grade your participation every 2 weeks. These are examples of the 2 forms. This one on the right is the required form that you'll submit to me every 2 weeks with your final grade for those 2 weeks, your participation grade for those 2 weeks. Finally, tests. You will have some tests, and tests are 10% of your grade. When you have a test, it will be take home. You will log on to Quia when you're ready to post your answers and take the test online. You'll have 2 attempts, and there will be a time limit for you to take that test on your Quia website. The syllabus mentions a calendar, and you will receive a course calendar every 2 weeks approximately, with what we're going to do for usually 2 weeks, sometimes 1 week. And this will have a guide. It's a guide for what we plan to do. Don't always follow it exactly. There may be changes in the calendar, and when there are, I usually will post them online or tell you in class or give it to you in your notes. Once again, your success depends on your participation in this class. And participation is these things: attendance, come to class regularly; punctuality, come to class on time; preparation, complete your assignments carefully; conversation, you're going to engage in discussions throughout the course; and finally, civility, you're going to take turns listening and talking and tolerate opinions that are different than your own. That's very important. That's a very important part of your learning. So let's get started now with the course, beginning with your reading of the syllabus. And I'm looking forward to a wonderful semester with you all.